Kamala Harris's husband, a.k.a. the second gentleman, decided to speak out against toxic masculinity. All right, let's jump into this. This is second gentleman, Doug Imhoff, condemns toxic masculinity. Sent over by one of our own Patreons. I think Kevin sent this over. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. Go ahead. Let's jump into this.
Should we just talk about masculinity?
Should we just talk about masculinity for a minute? What is it? Okay, pause. Already. I'm triggered. If the conversation is starting, should we just talk about toxic masculinity already? I'm already like, oh, man, I know where this is going. Men are bad. Doing manly things are bad. I don't know if this is where this is going.
We'll see. Should we just talk about masculinity for a moment? Has being second gentleman changed your own view of perceived gender roles or what it means to be a man?
This is something I've thought about a lot, something I've spoken about a lot. There's too much of toxicity.
It's like asking, being in second place, does it change what you think of as a winner?
That's messed up. He's not second place because his wife is vice president, man.
This is something I've thought about a lot and something I've spoken about a lot. There's too much of toxicity. It's masculine toxicity out there. And we've kind of confused what it means to be a man, what it means to be masculine, where you've got this trope out there that you've got to be tough and, angry and lash out to be strong. It's just the opposite.
Okay.
David just said gay. just totally uncharitable. Just one word. No explanation.
The chat got no chill. Okay. I would say even the most goober red pill alpha type is probably still not following this definition of masculinity. Pull it back and let's listen to. Sometimes we hear stuff and it sounds so ridiculous, but like let's critically process the words that are coming out of his mouth. Play it.
Confused what it means to be a man, what it means to be masculine, where you've got this trope out there that you've got to be tough and angry and lash out to be strong.
Okay. Who thinks that to be a man you got to be tough, angry, and lash out to be strong?
I think you have to be tough. Out of those three, I think that is one reasonable one. But it doesn't have to be physical toughness. It can be mental toughness.
Yes, yeah. But he did this.
Did he do that? You daggone gorilla.
Pull it back. I'm not joking. You got to be tough.
We've kind of confused what it means to be a man, what it means to be masculine, where you've got this trope out there that you've got to be tough and angry and lash out to be.
Bro, what are we talking about?
And you got to lash out to be a strong man.
To lash out against who? Why are we lashing out?
Nothing screams strong man than a good. You speak when spoken to.
I'm here to negotiate.
You speak when spoken to.
Nothing means more than a strong man than beating your chest.
Yeah.
Okay, keep playing. This is one of those like, this is funny without trying.
Strong. It's just the opposite. Strength is how you show your love for people. Strength is how you are for people and how you have their back and how you stick up for other people and pushing out against bullies. I mean, that's what I believe it is. So every time I can speak against this toxicity, we're seeing it with our younger people. We're seeing it in our discourse, in our politics, in the media. You're seeing it as it relates to so many of the issues that we're pushing back on. So I think it's a problem, and I'm going to continue to use this platform every time I get to speak out against this toxic masculinity that's out there.
Here's the thing. Let me just point out the obvious here. And I don't mean to be that guy. But let's talk about the young people that are like really influenced by like Andrew Tate and the Sneakos and like the stuff that's like overtly misogynistic.
Yeah, totally.
Do you think that this gentleman speaking out against this is going to persuade anyone? Do you think that his opinion on any of this stuff is going to persuade anyone?
No.
Like no one, you're not winning anyone over. You're second gentleman, bro. You're second gentleman, and we don't believe you. Like we don't believe you as anything. We don't know you.
Yeah.
Why would young men listen to you?
If the vice president doesn't have a real job, then the vice president's husband definitely doesn't have a real job.
Right? So I don't have a problem with what he said about, having people's back and standing up to bullies. I think
Being
that's
tough.
fine. Being tough. Well, yeah, he doesn't think we should be tough. I don't know what he thinks.
But standing up to bullies, is that not?
Yeah, is not standing up to bullies being tough?
Protecting your own. Like that. No, that's not tough.
Right. So it's like you have to have credibility with people before you're critiquing them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Like no one wants someone from outside of their community to critique them. Black folks don't want white folks to critique their communities. White folks don't want, right, Mexican people. Like, no one wants anyone from outside of your community and your in-group to critique it.
Yeah.
Right? And so I don't understand why he thinks this is helpful. Is he just trying to get sound bites? Like, I don't get it.
Have the two of you been able to maintain a semblance of your life that you had before you became big public servants?
Okay, let me.
Now you set him off. Look at now we got to pause it because the chat set him off.
That is a stupid question. His wife is running for president of the United States. She is running for president of the free world. I'm not even mad at Doug Emhoff.
Yeah, shout out to Doug.
I'm mad at the guy asking him these dumb questions. This man's on MSNBC. Question. Talk about tax. Let's just talk about talking about. Question number 2. Have you been able to keep any semblance of normalcy as your wife runs for leader of the free world?
What does a date night look like for you, Doug?
Is that a real question?
Are you able to walk the streets now?
This is insanity.
Yeah, this is lazy and sloppy.
She's been a public figure in politics for over a decade. She was the attorney general. They haven't had a normal life in a long, and that's just outside of politics. It's just common sense.
Yeah.
She hasn't had a normal life in a decade plus. They're not going out on date nights. They're not taking strolls around Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
What kind of stupid question is this?
It's tough. We try. And remember, being vice president is a 24/7 undertaking. So it doesn't matter where you are, what plans you make. When you're vice president, stuff's happening all the time. So just for instance, just this past weekend, we thought, okay, she loves to cook. I love to eat. My favorite is bolognese. She makes this incredible pot of bolognese. So we went downstairs. There's this commercial kitchen. She pulled out, the big pot. She's, cutting everything. And half the time she's doing it, on the phone because stuff's happening all the time. And some of the times, like, here, Dougie, take the spatula because I got to go be vice president. So
she calls him Dougie. Chris, you gotta cut it. You gotta cut in someone hitting the Dougie right now.
Whatever your intentions are to try to carve out some, couple time, some family time, she's vice president of the United States. That's 24/7, 365, and it's always right there. Even being at home at the residence.
He sounds irritated with this question.
Yeah, he's like,
Dog, she's vice president.
He's like pulling a story out of his like back pocket. Like, yeah, we tried to cook and she had to like be on the phone. Is that what you wanted?
That's just an extension of the office.
There are a lot of stories written about the vice president. Some good, some not so good, some that are, portray her in a way that as someone who has known her and covered her, you're like, yeah, I know that person. And then others where I'm like, that's not quite right. What's the one thing you would love for the American people to know about Vice President Harris that they might not already know?
So yeah, a lot of those stories, as you know, are inaccurate. And but okay, so who is she? What do I see? What do millions of people see? I mean, you saw that woman in Munich a week or so ago talking about crimes against humanity. You've got this woman who's just in South Carolina advocating for increased broadband. You've got this woman who's traveled all around the country speaking out against pushing back on fundamental rights, which is this horrible Dobbs decision. You've got someone who is a public...
So hold on. Why whenever we're talking about her accomplishments, the thing that always comes up is like, she's really for the deletion of babies.
That's crazy.
Is that really?
It's like her only core value.
They got to find a different playbook to run with. So she was in Munich talking about, pull it back. Let's listen to the things that, because he said, what do people not know about her? So I want to hear something personal, right?
Yeah.
What is she like? And he goes to stuff she's doing on a campaign trail.
Tell me about her
bolognese. Maybe she's gonna go into that. Go ahead and play it.
About crimes against humanity.
Okay, she's
you've got this woman who's just in South Carolina advocating for increased broadband. You've got this woman
increased broadband, like internet. Is this for real? She's out there in South Carolina.
She's Elon Musk.
She's working hard on broadband.
Wow.
Okay.
All around the country, speaking out against pushing back on fundamental rights, which is
pushing back on fundamental rights.
Okay.
What is he saying specifically? He's talking about the right to kill babies.
Yeah.
This horrible Dobbs decision. You've got someone who is
Dobbs
a public
decision,
servant,
that's what that is.
not a politician. She has spent every minute of every day of her professional life serving the people. That's it. And so that's what I see. Somebody who, yes, people work hard. She works hard, but what she accomplishes so much, and it's made me to the extent people think I'm good at this role. It's good. I get to watch her.
She works hard. I'm sure she does. I mean, to have to be available like that. But what he specifically said is she's speaking out in Munich.
Mm-hmm.
She's advocating for broadband internet, and she's speaking out against the rights of women to kill their kids, to kill their unborn kids. Now, as far as I know, I don't think speaking out in and of itself is actually creating anything. Like speaking is just speaking.
It's just ideas.
They're just ideas,
Yeah.
right? It's like back in the day. Remember back in the day when Gary Vee used to tell us how he used to work 18 hours a day?
Yeah.
And then what you found out was he was just really running around talking.
He's just like, yeah.
He's
like,
just on the phone,
he's
talking
like
to different
stuck
people.
in New York traffic.
New York
and he's
traffic.
Like, with his wired headphones in.
Right. And then he's like, you got to grind hard. It's like, bro, you can't edit video for 18 hours a day. You can't code for 18 hours a day. You can't write for 18 hours a day. Those are not the same thing
Yes.
as actually creating something of value. So her running around and speaking out against humanity, her running around and doing these things, that's not the same thing as like we sat and like physically made something.
Yep. Get back a sample, make revisions,
Right.
Send it back.
Writing books like that, like you're not creating anything.
Yeah.
You're just talking.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between progress and movement. You can move and without any progress. So she sounds like she's just running around talking a lot.
Yeah.
But what has she actually done? Like, point to me to something she's done. And maybe she's done some stuff I don't know about. Maybe just some policies she's passed I don't know about. Maybe she's advocated for. But all I've heard is advocating for broadband, advocating against crimes of humanity, and advocating for the right for women to have more access to the deletion of babies.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like the Daily Wire has, or Matt Walsh made a point about Doug Emhoff and, his whole point on toxic masculinity, that they're trying to create this, this prop up the modern woman while also dunking on men and usually typical things they stand for. We got opinion, Washington Post, Doug Emhoff, modern day sex symbol. Emhoff is secure enough with his own masculinity to sometimes prioritize his wife's ambitions over his own. What a hunk.
Modern day sex symbol, huh?
So
everyone, we're legitimately in the upside down at this point.
Yeah.
Everyone likes Kamala.
Yeah. Yes.
We all like her now.
All of a sudden, she went from the worst vice president
She went
ever reported
from the worst vice president ever reported
to the
now,
solution to securing the democracy.
to the future of our democracy. Her husband is now a modern day sex symbol. And men, the only way men are masculine is if they're aggressive and they beat their chest and
they die to their wife's ambitions.
And they die to their wives' ambitions.
Yeah.
This is dark.
Yeah.
This is a sickness of the highest order.
That's it, huh?
There's some, this arrangement only works when you delete babies.
Whoa, that escalated. Why is that?
Because there is a biological design that the way the family is supposed to be structured. And it's not the man dying on the altar of the woman's ambitions. And it's not the woman going out and being a boss babe and saying, Dougie, can you please take over dinner for me because I need to go run the free world secondhand. A core value of hers being that makes sense because that is what they want modern women to be.
You're on your Kevin Samuels.
Hey man, it makes sense. Look at this image.
Yeah.
What a hunk.
Emhoff is secure enough with his own masculinity to sometimes prioritize his wife's ambitions over his own. What a hunk. Yeah.
Yeah. So it all works.
It all works. I mean, listen, it's working for them.
Yeah.
And if people, I don't want people who don't want to be parents to become parents, right? Like, I don't want to legislate and be like, if you don't ever want to be a parent, you need to become a parent, right? Because I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
I don't want those people to be parents.
No, that's
right.
Yeah.
What I think what you're pointing as the deeper underlying narrative of what is being promoted on a macro level.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm talking about like she is standing, saying that you know, whatever, the fundamental right to a woman's mental health, or because she needs to be the best version of herself and she's not ready. But it's like that is at the expense of the biological design of the nuclear family.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, listen, if they don't want to have kids, by all means, I am suspicious of people who've never had kids wanting to lead a world of folks who have kids. Right? Because then you get into like weird statements like Joe Biden saying like your kids are the states and, you know, just all weird stuff. So, yeah, interesting observation on your part, man. That's it's kind of scary.
A little far right of me.
Kind of scary. I just didn't want
to send me your address.
I just didn't want to. I want to make sure we're not insinuating that she's deleted babies herself.
Oh,
that's the part that I don't know, and I don't want to know, and I don't want to act like we know.
No.
That's it.
Definitely not.
You know? But I agree with you of the paradigm.
The worldview that you want to avoid kids at all costs.
Yes,
is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but we don't know why she can't have kids. To be fair, we don't know why maybe she couldn't have kids.
Can she not have kids?
I don't know. I'm just saying maybe she couldn't have kids. There are women that can't have kids.
I think Doug Emhoff has kids.
Yeah, I'm talking about her. Maybe she has a condition where she can't have kids. So I don't want to.
It's called being old.
Well, yeah. Now I'm talking about maybe when she wanted kids, she couldn't have kids. That's what I'm saying.
Because she didn't have a partner because she was tricking off her 20s and 30s trying to build a career. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Zach woke up today and chose violence.
I'm just saying, this is your queen?